As the season marches along, we head on to end the core with the third of it, with the fourth event, Glade Archery. Welcome everyone, I am Vintage, and it's basically like archery, except this is not sponsored, but Marbles will go down the thread to these Glade cans over here, once again not sponsored. So how this will work is that each can is worth a set number of points. The one in the middle, which is basically the apple and cinnamon one at the middle, see, that is worth 12. The Double Life 11, 10, 9, and all the way to the end. So this is the graph to help you. And important to know that some of these cans have special multipliers that can add it to those marbles, which is scores. Like, if you hit the bullseye, that will be times 5. If you hit the fresh ones, that will be times 2. The Old Glade Limited Edition times 3, times 4 for new, and Summer Life times 5. But let's take a look at the standings. Sulfur has the lead only by a tie break from the medal positions. Kai has the most medals so far. But we're going in reverse championship order, so Double Dip is first to go. And they need to get something going. They are last on just 2 points, 4 points actually. And that's actually not a bad start. I believe that would have been a 40. So, well done to Double Dip. Now the next one. Oh, that's looking straight. That's a bullseye already. So 12 times 5 would be already 60. Double Dip's already improving greatly from this one. I forgot to mention there are 4 runs here. So this is run number 3 for Double Dip. And that's gonna be a 9 can times 4, so 36. Double Dip is really starting to make a name for himself here. And here it is, the last run. Double Dip is going, and that's going to be a 55. So if my math is correct, that will mean Double Dip has a score of 191, and they are in the lead. And they can get their first top half finish, considering that's a pretty high mark. Can Toffee, though, they are also struggling this season. They may have actually been tied, I'm not sure. Or with Double Dip. But down they come. Oh, this looks off. This looks way off. Oh, this is gonna be. That's a 5 for Toffee. That is incredibly bad. And considering how they're 15th in the standings, that's gonna impact them well. That's gonna be very disastrous for them. Because the second run, can they improve greatly? Ooh, and they actually hit the middle. And if Marbles hit, so it's the first can that gets a score, but as they touch both cans at the same time, like this right here, the scores of each of the can will be added and divided by 2 to get the average. So that would be 38 for Toffee. If you understand that I hit the 36 and the 40 can, so add that 72, 76 divided by 2, it would be 38. So that's your score. And Toffee, what's Toffee's third run gonna be? It's a similar, but no. The super saying they hit the 36, the 9 can, so 9 times the new flame light, that would be 4 and 36. So for the last run, no, this looks a little off, and that does not go well at all. That was 14 for Toffee. Yikes! Considering 2 really poor runs and 2 honestly average runs, probably. That's gonna be Toffee well back. 191 for Double Dip to 193 only for Toffee. Not even half. Nearly over 100. I don't even know. I need to talk about Balloon's run first. They are also really struggling this season. Oh, and they're already out to a bad start. That's 12 for Balloon, so already off to a really, really, really poor start. Can they improve with their second run, though? They really have to. It looks good. It looks good. It's a 55 for that second run. That is well an improvement. Considering after their horrible, not really horrible, but pretty bad first run. And the next one, it looks off again. That's another 12. They gotta be consistently good in this, and not only is it inconsistent, it's not really that good either. So Balloon really needs something like a bullseye if they want to end up really, really strongly. Can Balloon do it? Ooh, squarely they get the 40 for that one. So I think Balloon is gonna be second, but I was topic before. I'm not really sure it will be second place. What's their scoring gonna be? It's gonna be 119. It could be worse, but it also could be a lot better. Now for Crystal Ball now. How can they do? I think they're 13, so they also want to get one move on here. And oh, that is a real, much like Balloon, that is a really, really poor start. That is gonna be 8.25. Oh my goodness, that is not good at all. And first of all, really have to improve here. That is very far, but they hit the 36 can. Interesting. How about the next one? It's looking good. Oh, 36 again for Crystal Ball. So they are improving. Still, they would need like a miracle in the last one if they want any chance that it goes well. That looks good. Looks good. It's on the distance. But as do it say, it's a 55. They kept improving as runs, which is good for Crystal Ball. Unfortunately, their very first run was not really that good at all. So that's going to be 135.25. That's second again. We're getting closer to double dip now. Can Yogurt close the gap even further? How does their first one go? And it's going to be a 63.25. So I guess there's a way to score even higher than the bullseye, which was not intended. But that's really good for Yogurt. And also, here's Yogurt's second run. It was unfortunately not recorded. But as to it say, they can confirm they scored 36. So that's already a pretty average second run. Oh, but that's a pretty poor third one. 14 for Yogurt. That's going to be dragging down pretty much. Can they find success in their final run? Ooh, yes! That's a 63.25 again. So already they had like 126.5, and at 36 to 14, that'll be 176.5. Second place. That's really good for Yogurt. What about Cookie Butter though? They have not really doing anything this season. Can it change to them? They want a great result here, and they're off to a really good start. Another 55 for that one. You see, it can get really difficult to tell what a marble has scored. But the Stewards know what they're doing. They have peak precision, at least we try. And Cookie Butter apparently got stuck there for a while. They have to get a little bit moving. And the marbles can happen, but we're gonna try to knock Cookie Butter to get going. And they're finally going. And that was not really that good of a run. That's gonna be 24. So I think that little hesitation threw Cookie Butter off, unfortunately. And it's just, you only got one try for each run, so they're gonna want to have to improve on this next one. And the same mistake happens again. And a little nudge sends Cookie Butter forward. And that was a 36. So not as bad, but certainly not amazing. Can this last one be really, really good? Ooh, looks like a yes! 63.25 on that one. Cookie Butter finally getting some charisma here. Some confidence, I should say. And it's gonna be in 178.25. Second place has really been changing up. Can Cirrus add to the trend? Or maybe even surpass Double Dip themselves? Considering they're the only one that hasn't really passed them. And series once again leaves off as Cookie Butter. Not really starting going. And we're waiting. Ah, there it is. Cookie Butter is... Cirrus is going. getting 55 for that one. Pretty decent, great start, I should say. Or at least pretty good one. Oh my, that was really fast for Cirrus. That was a 24, so I guess that poor start kind of hindered them a bit. And time for the third one. It's more probably presented than the last, and a lot better than the last. That's 24. It's decent for Cirrus. So, overall, a pretty decent-ish run. But how can the anchor do? How can the anchor do? I mean, the last one, run number 4, and it's decent again. That's a 36. So, Cirrus overall had a pretty decent run, at least compared to the others. Oh, they're gonna be 4th, so you're just barely out of 20 with 155. But it is the middle of the pack so far. How can Twilight add to this? They're last of the first runners. They go down, bouncing, but a 55 to start off pretty strongly. That is not a bad run in the slightest. So that gets set off pretty well. And number 2, this is the run number 2. Down they go. Seriously, Twilight's going to get a 40. The stewards are saying. So it is very interesting to see how these marbles go down. The third run, oh, this does not look that great. Oh, but it's not. That was a 8.25, just like Crystal Ball's first run. That is really paltry for the Twilights. They were looking to have such a rather great run. At last, they had to settle that. Hope this fourth one can make any difference. And it's gonna be another 36. So, I'm not, so with the 8.25, I think they're going to be rather close with Crystal Ball. And just barely going to be overpass it. 139.25 puts them in 5th. But as we see, Double Dip provisionally still has the lead. And Toffee already looking very dire here. What can Avocado Oil do? They're looking to have, they've also having a rather okay season. But they start off relatively strong. That wasn't 40 for them. That was interesting. I'm not really having to say. It's interesting to see how different positions can affect these marbles. And how they're set up on these rands. That one will lead to Avocado Oil getting stuck. Having to get 3. Oh, but that's really... they're saying it's a 63.25 for that one. And that's a 24 for Avocado Oil. So, not really the best that could have been. And now, for the last run, it's been stretching up, and it's gonna be a 36. Let's see what they're saying. So, so 4th place, they're just off the podium, considering they never got a medal, unlike Clover. That's pretty sad. And speaking of Clover, they're our next runner-up. They got, like, I think they got bronze in the last event. Other than that, ain't nothing. But they start off pretty decently, 40. Yeah, time for the second run. Can Clover add on to this? It's gonna be 40 again. This time on the other side for Clover. Now for the third run. And Clover gets a little bit hung up there. They just need a nudge to get moving. And we'll look straight at that line. And it's gonna be a bullseye. 60 for that one. Clover's looking to finally upset Double Dip. They just need a really, can they get a really good final shot to take the lead in standings? They're waiting, and oh no, 21 will not take the lead. I'm not even sure where Clover's gonna end up. We're gonna be 5th. So it could have been better if the last one was actually good. Now Aquamarine now. They really want to get something going here. Here, after a gold in the first event, really practically nothing. And they start off with a 24. Not the greatest, but it could always be better. Can they better on their next run? No, not really. It's a 21. It's not awful, just nothing really that amazing. So maybe they can improve on their third run, and they get stuck again, and they're free again, and they're pretty good. 36 with that one. So very interesting. How can the anchor do? And it's gonna be another 36. So I'm not sure where Aquamarine will end up. Even like the upper mid pack. Oh no, that's gonna be 10th out of 11. Good lord. Oh, I wasn't even realizing. I thought Aquamarine second to last. Carmine though, they do not want to end up like Aquamarine. And they start off really solid. Oh, not really solid at all. 29.75 for that first run. Maybe their second run. Is it going to be good? This would say 60, a bullseye. Carmine is catching up. That potentially, I'm saying potentially, maybe, how's their third run going to go? Ooh, that's very hard to tell. Stewart's saying that it will hit the 55 can. Carmine could be challenger. How's their last one? 38. So this maybe could actually take the lead. No, but it's gonna be second. Our new second place. 182.75. Pretty good. Now Hairball. I think they just really want to be in the championship fight. It's not having to go, not really having any. I don't know what they. The first one was a 55. So that's a good run. Well, the second one was really fast. But on the flip side, it gives them a bullseye. That is really good for Hairball. Now for the third run, it's gonna go. It's a 38. This could actually, it could actually be a challenger for Double Dip's run. They just need like a pretty goodish last run. Oh, a 55. This could definitely be a challenger for Double Dip score. And yes, 208. That's our new P1. Very good for the Hairball. Woodpecker's up next. They don't actually have any medals. Just very. I'm sorry, they actually got silver and sprint. And every finish after that, top half finishes. And this looks like a good run. 63.25. That is really good. Woodpecker trying to go 4 for 4 on top half finishes. But it looks rather straight. It looks rather straight from the line, as you see. That's where the middle can is, actually. It veers on to get 40. So, not as straight as Woodpecker could have been. And, oh, this looks very. It's 55. Woodpecker is getting closer to maybe even throwing Hairball. Can I have a really good last run? Oh, no. That is 14. That is surely going to put it down to Woodpecker's finishes. Where are they going to go? They're going to be 172.5. That is 6. But if I think like 14th and Kite is already on the going down on that ramp. But they start off with a 55. Kite is actually tied with our leader, Sulfur. But they don't have one gold medal. They really like to get one, though. And their second run gets them another 63.25. Those two scores are actually really good. Kite's third run. And it's looking at another good run. 40. This could actually be another challenger. They just need one really good last run. And it hits both the 10 and 11 can. So they say a 47.25. Will that take P1? No, it's going to be 205.5. That's second, though. Very insane. And our final run, Sulfur. What can they do after all that? Oh, this does not look good. That's gonna be 5. Well, Sulfur's lead is definitely in jeopardy now. Considering the one they tied with just scored 2nd place and is guaranteed another medal. That's 3rd in a row. They really want to close that gap. Improving, that's gonna be 40. But this is not. But that first one could be such the dead on our DOA for the rest of Sulfur's champion leadership hopes. And they're waiting to go down the 3rd run. They'll get down eventually, and yes, it's gonna be a little straight. It's a bullseye. They really need that. But with that 5, this could have potentially ruined Sulfur's chance of winning a podium. And it's another 40. And so 60 plus 40 plus 40 again. Plus 5 would be score is actually not 100. 5, 45. That's 11. But Hairball wins their first gold medal ever. Guys gets their 3rd medal in silver place. And Double Dip finally got something to smile about as they get their first top 5 finish. Not just that, but also their first ever medal. Congratulations to our podium contenders. Now we wait the standings and kite. Yes, as predicted, they do have the lead. Hairball actually goes in 2nd place. Sulfur's down 3rd. Double Dip is out of last. We have 19. And Tuffy now returns last place. Back at the Play Big High 5th event, block race. See you there.